Democrats are using rappers like Kendrick Lamar, Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, niggas with attitude, and even all the way to Tupac. It's something that's been going on for a long time, and it has to get exposed. I'm going viral right now on the internet for my interview with Sean Kelly, exposing how N.W.A. and Tupac were political-minded rappers. They existed to argue about the nature of the status quo and to say that a disruption was needed. You think of Tupac, you think about what he stood for, and he wasn't afraid to talk on political matters, nor was N.W.A., nor is Cardi B or Little Baby or many of these rappers. And if you look at it, on every single time, it's a liberal approach, it's a liberal stance. Is that random? No. So you look at someone like Drake that's not political minded, someone that does not want to get involved in politics. No matter who tries to get him involved in politics, he stays focused on his money, his success, and his legacy. That's a problem for the elites. They don't want you to have access to that platform, access to all that money and power, and not utilize it for themselves. Do you really believe that someone as big as Drake hasn't been offered massive opportunities to speak on politics, yet he refuses to? So what can they do? You got the largest asset in hip hop that's not being utilized. It's time to replace it. That was their goal with Kendrick Lamar. Someone that is extremely performative, put the crown of thorns on top of his head, have him blood come off of it, have him walking into performances with shackles on his arms and legs as if he's a slave, making his album covers being a depiction on Negro history and slavery, and even going so far as to claim people like Drake relate to slave masters in the past. It's woke liberal. I feel sorry for myself, so I'm going to buy this music because I'm white music. It's not real hip hop. No. It's political propaganda, so you need a propagandist to push it. So they pushed Kendrick Lamar up to the front, tried to replace Drake with him, because what would Kendrick Lamar go do? Push any and every narrative that liberals need. If you got the #1 rapper in the world as an asset of political propaganda, what can you expect to start seeing in hip hop? More propaganda. You got to understand the propagandists have always had their main figure typically be someone that can push their props. I mean, do you really think hip hop has Jay-Z, who's considered the godfather of hip hop, the boss of it all, the king of all kings, the Don of Dons, Hove, which is literally named after Jehovah Jireh? Do you think that he would have this godlike figure in hip hop if he, oh, come on, man. It's right in your face. Jay-Z has this position because he's a propagandist. He works with the NFL. And what did he do with the NFL prior to working with them? Saying that there was racism and that we needed to kneel. What was he fighting for? The Kaepernick cause. Every single liberal take, Jay-Z has been front and center, side by side with these propagandists. He stands with them like Barack Obama. He pushes their messaging. So you see he's elevated to the top. Drake has been able to maintain dominance without sitting with the elites. And people could say, oh, he benefited from the systems. He's so big they had to work with him. They never wanted to. Drake has always had an opportunity to be canceled in hip hop. I remember Drake was actually the first rapper to be memed. I'm old enough to know this, I'm 32. I remember it started off with saying Drake would be like, to try to make him seem emotional and put him beside these memes that typically show the most feminine traits of a man and say that's what Drake would be like, or they would make these jokes and say Drake would sound like. And then it constantly progressed to saying, oh, he's not American, or saying, oh, he's not black enough. To them even going as far as saying he's not accepted by the culture because he's not gangster enough. There's been many different reasons that people have tried to cancel this guy, and the industry has played on into it. Don't ignore it. Just because someone simply wins through adversity doesn't mean it's not there. People even get that confused with me. They think that I benefit from the system. I'm not propped up. I'm not put up on the news. I'm not placed everywhere. They say, oh, you're at the White House. Okay. Who got myself? I had to get myself there. I'm thankful for them allowing me there, but it's not propped and promoted. You get to see it because I'm the one that had to push it. So people will think just because you can win with the odds against you, that you somehow have these shadowy figures on your side. Drake is against the propaganda. He wants you to be judging him for the music. And that's not what they want. And it shows something much deeper, that Democrats are using music and using forms of media to portray their narratives on the masses. This is something we've been saying since the beginning of time. There's proof of this. If you're not going to be utilized by them, they're going to try to replace you with someone that can be utilized. That's why every single celebrity that's in the top of Hollywood and the top of sports are liberals. They're not just liberals, they're vocal liberals. LeBron James. So you telling me the king of hip hop and the king of the NBA are both staunch liberals that get involved in every single political narrative? I mean, LeBron James even beefed with Kyle Rittenhouse as when he was a kid, for God's sake. These people are propagandists. And is it odd that Drake is beefing with both of them? Throwing bars at both of them? It's not just music. I'm telling you guys, I exist because I am here to show you there is a bridge between the culture and politics because they both depend on each other. They're not separate. The main illusion of America is to get people into believing that culture and politics and all of these systems are separate. That way we don't actually see the trends and start seeing the patterns in both and seeing how we're being manipulated through both. To see that the messaging comes from the top and the top push that messaging so people can be more submissive to the government's control in the end. And how do they do it? By paying celebrities and threatening their entire livelihoods by not saying the messaging. You could end up like Drake if you don't push the propaganda, or like Trump if you don't sit there and toe their lines. These things, they're not random. They're all connected. They're all intertwined. And so that's why people typically go missing when they try to educate the normies on what's happening in politics, because they don't want these worlds to mend, simply because they're already connected. The illusion is that we're separate. People talk about rituals that go on in hip hop and things that happen when the video camera's being recorded and people doing drugs for them to, with each other on camera before they get these multi-million-dollar contracts. Who are these people donating to? These label executives that's allegedly doing this stuff. What campaigns are they donating to? Who are they sitting down with? These congressmen, senators, presidents, governors. See, they're all one party. And they're doing everything they can to convince you they're not all sitting at the same table.